Aloha, this is Tom Lesher with the weekly Pele Report. It's an astrological forecast, and this one is for the week of July 13th, 2011, the middle of the summer. Sun is hot, and the sun is in the sign of Cancer. As I am speaking to you now, the moon is approaching the full moon. We're going to have a full moon. It's going to be Thursday night at 11:40 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. So it's just about midnight, Thursday night, Friday morning. So it's building up now is Wednesday to all day tomorrow, and then Friday it's intensifying. It is the moon is going to be opposing Venus in the sign of Cancer, the moon in Capricorn, squaring Saturn in the sign of Libra. It's not what I would call one of the most fun full moon periods. uh, in fact, it's a little challenging. So let's go into that a little bit. Yeah, we've got a lot of stuff going on with this Cancer Capricorn axis. This full moon on this Cancer Capricorn axis is having to do with what? Home, real estate, the past, family, security, mom and dad, your childhood. This is the axis of security. And right now, this axis of security of Cancer Capricorn is getting bombarded, plummeted, bashed by Saturn in Libra and Uranus in Aries. There's a lot of forces at play that want to disrupt, that want to rock the boat, that want to really stir us up. And maintaining this sense of security, of stability, Capricorn is earth, solid, physical, financial, where's my money kind of security, all right? And Cancer has to do with mom, dad, my house and my home kind of, I'm going to cry if somebody doesn't hold me pretty soon kind of security. So, but, it's the emotional, it's water and earth signs, right? And they're getting hit by Saturn in Libra. It's an air sign. Uranus in Aries is a fire sign. We've got air and fire, which is change and transformation and movement and abrupt, sudden shifts that are coming out of the blue to bing, to do what, security. Security is an illusion. There is no such thing as security. So what we want to do is look at, ourselves, and we want to look at how we define security, what we're holding on to for security, what we need to let go of that is limiting our future, establishing a deeper level of security, understanding of security, because that security obviously lies within ourselves. It lies within our connection to Creator, to Source, to nature, to the environment, and thereby, it becoming secure in a spiritual sense, way, shape, or form leads to mental stability, which leads to emotional security, which leads to financial and physical security. So it's like when we come into this alignment with our truth, with our self, with our purpose, with our soul intention, then we don't need to necessarily rely upon these external forms of security, of money and of the house and of the job and of the boyfriend or the girlfriend or the spouse or the kids, trying to control and maintain and keep all of these outside external sources and forms in place so that we feel secure is actually opposite what this whole full moon, this moon in Capricorn, is trying to tell us. It is that, guess what, as we do our inner work, as we know ourselves on ever deeper levels, we become the mountain goat. We become the authority. This is the Capricorn axis, right? We become the elder, the wise one that everybody else comes to for security, that the world is built around that people, support and lift up and give honor and awards and recognition to us because we've done our work. So let's look at that. Let's look at our work. It's, you know, opposite Venus is square Saturn. Well, that means, Venus has been square Saturn. It's for a few days now, and this is not a fun type of a situation. Some call it karma. Others just call it depression. It's basically coming into a situation, a condition. Of course, this happens every 3 months. You get a Venus Saturn connection. This is a waning square. It's a 270-degree square, so it's like what you put out maybe 6 months ago or something. Now you're seeing the results or the reflections in your relationship of what you established, what you started, what you began, or what you did not establish, start, or begin. Okay, but it's coming back to you now. That's what this square is about. And it's a crisis in consciousness where we get to observe ourselves, where we get to feel ourselves on ever deeper levels, to see what we want to repeat, what we don't want to repeat, how we want to work, how we want to form. Saturn is form. What type of commitments we want, what type of contracts we're looking for. And it has to be done consciously. That's the key. We're running a lot of these unconscious patterns. These unconscious patterns come from childhood. Of course, our childhood and our parents come from our past life decisions and choices and dharma, and so it's all built upon this sense of bringing the unconscious into consciousness. Now, it's easier to tap into childhood than it is to tap into past lives. So you can deal with your childhood. You can get a chart reading or something and look at past lives. But, it's all, it's really all here, in the oven for this life. And what we can say is, our parents are external reflections of our own sun and moon in our birth chart. It's yourself. And so if you had a childhood where it was not cool to talk about feelings, or it was not okay to cry, or it was not, okay to just stamp and be a kid, just be a kid, scream and shout and cry and do your tantrums, but it was, oh, shh, 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 quiet, 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 and don't talk about that, and don't go there, and if you had all that kind of stuff going on, which most of us have had on one way or another, one level or another, our parents were all suppressed, and so they suppressed us, and we're all suppressed, and so basically just get on with it. We've all have repressed issues, and these repressed issues turn into blocks, and these blocks inhibit the full expression of our emotional self, the full opening of our hearts, and then of course the full manifestation of a relationship that is going to feed and nurture and nourish. So, I'm taking a long time to get around to it, but, really what this time, this full moon, this, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is a time to cry. It's a time to get into the grief. It's a time to get into the guilt and the shame that has been brought about by suppressing who our little child, got the Sun and Venus both in Cancer. It's time to be little kids. It's time to play in the sandbox. It's time to, it's time to let it out. It's time to scream and shout and yell and holler and, do it in ways that, can cause the least amount of upset with our neighbors. But, it's really, as we do this, and here's the important part about accessing these emotions and screaming and doing our tantrums and crying and everything, it is validating your inner experience. That's what it's about. If I have this image, this ideal, this perfect self that I'm, cool, calm, collected, and together, and that's what I want to present to the world, and that's all you're going to see, then that's the type of a relationship, that's the type of partnership, that's the type of life you're going to lead. It's going to be Capricorn, which is cold, barren, snow-capped mountains, made of rock that the goats climb on. And hey, if that's the kind of, if that's what you're into, you can do that. However, it's not fully human. And so we incarnate into these physical human bodies to have these watery, gushy, wild feelings and the roller coaster ride and the ups and downs and the ins and outs, yeah? And so it's as we validate our own inner experience, as we shed tears and we allow ourselves to fall apart, disintegrate, like the seed needs to break open and break apart in order to blossom, like our heart needs to break open in order to really fully feel and sense. What I'm saying is that there's a certain amount of pain and suffering involved with our inner growth, and if we avoid it, we keep ourselves busy. We've got Mars conjunct the South Node in Gemini. I'm going to talk more about that. It culminates next week, a little later on, but you know, it's still busy, 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 work, you know, and stay occupied and stay in our heads and this, that, and the other thing, yeah. Distract ourselves. If we get away from that distraction and we come into our center core, then we can clear. And as we clear, we heal. And as we validate and honor and accept ourselves as the puddle of mud that we are, you know, that's water mixed with mud makes the puddle of mud, right? You know, it's water and earth. We are water and earth. We are earth. We are Cancer and Capricorn, you know. And as we accept that and come into that, you know, there's things we don't know, we don't have together. We're not going to, you know, always be polished and shine and look good and this, that, and the other thing. Then that allows for the type of a partner, the type of a relationship, the type of dynamic that can really blossom, support us, hold us, and help us grow in the future. So that's what it's about. And so that's Thursday, Friday, you know, and then Saturday, boom, Moon goes into Aquarius. It trines, makes a grand trine with Saturn in Libra, Mars in Gemini. And it's a fantastic, fantastic time. Squares Jupiter in Taurus. Saturday is awesome. Sunday is looking really good. So, you know, Saturday and Sunday, then the moon goes into Pisces. And we've got the dreams and the hopes and the wishes are all happening. So it's like, you know, you just want to kind of get to the weekend. No, but that shouldn't be the attitude, you know. It's not just get over this and get through this. It's actually, you know, I'm trying to tell you to accept all this. Yeah. Wow. And so next week then moves forward, you know, and Saturday, Sunday opens up, moon, you know, slides into that watery Pisces, and there's a tremendous amount of healing. And this healing just allows for a simple, full life, you know. So that's what's kind of going on the inner realms. On the outer realms, again, it's time to be at home. You know, it's time to be with the kids. It's time to sit around the fire. It's time to work in the garden. You know, these are activities that can help to bring us in touch with our feelings and our deeper needs. And with that, I'm going to, oh yes, the mantra for this week. Rock steady. Rockabye baby. And don't get shook too deeply. You know, get shook deeply, but don't topple over. And just rock steady. Yeah, that'll do for this week. I wish you the very best. I look forward to talking to you again next week. Aloha and namaste.